Hello everybody and welcome back to the Real Miami FC 26 career mode. In this series, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has created his own MLS team to take on David Beckham and lay the smackdown on Inter Miami. And so far, lads, we have done a very, very good job of that. Top of the Eastern Conference here by 12 points after 25 games, whilst Inter are down there in 10th place, albeit with 2 games in hand on the teams above them. They've had a bit of a stinker though, let's be honest. I was very, very surprised to see how far down the table they were at this point in the season. And of course, in the last episode, we did get our first victory in a Miami derby, so we currently do have the bragging rights. In the first series in FC 26, we turned Merseyside blue, and we're doing a very good job of turning Miami blue in this series. So in this episode, lads, what we are going to do is we are going to finish up the regular MLS season. I'm going to fly through the rest of the games at this point of the season and get into the playoffs. I did say at the very beginning of this series that this was going to be one of the shorter series that we did on the channel, so I don't want it to drag on for too long. So yeah, we have some highlights to get into, and we're going to quick sim a few games as well, and then we'll see where we are in the table at the end of it. So the first game of the episode was a rematch of the very first game of this series as we took on Atlanta United. And I'm just going to say it now, I absolutely hate these dickheads. I really, really do. If you didn't see the first game of this series, they beat us with 2 very, very late goals. And they get a late goal here in the first half of this game, completely against the run of play. And we were 1-0 down going into the halftime break. But it was our turn to score a late goal against them. Ruiz with his very first goal for Real Miami, getting us back on level terms with 11 minutes to go with a really, really good strike there. And I thought, okay, listen, it's taken us a while to get going here, but there's 10 minutes left. Surely we can go and get the winner here. And a few minutes later, I was convinced that's what happened. Wood into Morgan, Morgan into Zendejas, and Zendejas with the ball in the back of the net. Only his 3rd goal of the season, 6 minutes to go, and I thought, brilliant, 3 points to kick off this episode. And then this happened. 93rd minute. The 93rd minute. If I speak, I am in trouble. A really irritating result to kick things off here in this episode, but thankfully the next few fixtures are quite favourable for us, on paper at least, to quote Anthony Smith. But we do get a victory here in the first one of those quick sim games, a 2-1 win against DC United, Arzu coming off the bench to get the winner there. Hopkins did get an equaliser in the 46th minute, and Wood did get the opening goal of the game. Ronaldo being taken off at half-time. Is this the first time in the series where Cristiano Ronaldo has gone 2 games without a goal? Crazy. And it's now 3 games without a goal for Cristiano Ronaldo. What's going on? Bloody hell, a crisis for CR7 in this career mode. Thankfully though, it's not affecting the team too much, as we do get a victory here against Austin FC, who aren't doing that well in the Western Conference. I think they're 3rd from bottom. Hector Bellerin getting what I think is his first goal of the series there in the 7th minute. Uzini did get an equaliser a few minutes later. Dexter Morgan getting the winner. But as you can see here, we actually finished the game with 9 men, both Riley and Morgan getting sent off. Somebody in Austin FC's team must have fit the code there with 2 minutes to go, but despite being down to 9 men, we do get the 3 points. Toronto FC are bottom of the Eastern Conference. They've got 1 win in the whole season, and they've lost every other game. What could possibly go wrong here? As you can see, I have made quite a few changes. Obviously, Morgan and Riley both suspended, so they're not involved. But I decided this was a good opportunity to really change things up. Even Brandao is in goal, our 6'8" goalkeeper. Please, for the love of God, lads, do not lose this game. What's going to happen here in Canada? Oh my God. Oh my God, we've given Toronto their first draw of the season. We had to rescue a point with a late goal there from Bailey. Listen, I love Canada, one of my favourite places in the world, but oh my God, this trip has been an absolute disaster. Can you believe it? The worst team in the MLS, and they still get a bloody result against me. How ironic is this? I was just looking through these scout reports here, the youth scout report that is, from Jamaica. We got one player here called Dexter, and we got another player here called Morgan. That is so ironic in the best way possible. And you know what? They don't look too bad, Chad Morgan and Dexter Moore, so I think we sign both of them up. So I've decided to play the highlights of this game against St. Louis. Nothing has really happened so far. We've got a free kick here with Cristiano Ronaldo, and I want a live reaction if this goes in. Ronaldo! Oh my god, that nearly went in! Oh my god, that actually nearly went in! Oh, my goodness me. Well, he might not be having the best episode, but he nearly made up for it with what would have been goal of the series, let's be honest. But can we get the opening goal of this game here? Morgan, back from his suspension, gives us the lead here, right at the start of the second half, but I'm still really gutted that that free kick from Ronaldo never went in. It finished 1-0 in that game against St. Louis, and now we move on to a game here against New York Red Bulls. So we're down in 12th place here in the Eastern Conference. I've had to change things up a bit because, like the idiot that I am, I forgot to edit the training plans. But let's give this one a quick sim as well. Can we get 3 points? Can Ronaldo get a goal? No, he bloody can't! What's that, 7 games now without a goal for Cristiano Ronaldo? I mean, I jokingly said it was a crisis earlier, but now I'm starting to think it actually is. Wood with a brace, which is great to see, but Ronaldo, for the second time in this episode, gets taken off at half-time. So, finally, Cristiano Ronaldo is back on the score sheet here against Charlotte FC in a 3-2 victory away from home. He gave us the lead inside 18 minutes. Wilfred Zaha got the equaliser in the 35th minute. I actually forgot that he was at Charlotte FC. Zendejas got our second goal of the game. Zaha got their second goal of the game. And Wood, who's had a fantastic episode so far, was the one who ended up getting the winner. And here we are now at the final game of the regular MLS season. We did just play a home game as well against Nashville. I did quick sim it. It ended 1-1, but I forgot to unmute my microphone. So yeah, apologies for that. It was Wood who got the goal in that game, but as you can see here, we have completely rotated for this final Eastern Conference game of the season. Lewis is the only regular starter here because my other left back is homesick at the moment, so he's not in the squad. But let's give this a quick sim. Can we finish up with 3 points? No, we finish up with the defeat, 3-2. Smith and Arzo with the goals. But look, it's not a big deal. As you'll see in the table here in a second, this result literally means sweet F all for us because we have absolutely dominated in the regular MLS season. We have finished 11 points clear of Columbus Crew here at the top of the Eastern Conference in the regular MLS season. And if we quickly go over to the Western Conference here, we had 10 more points than LAFC there, who were top of that table, which means we are the top of the overall MLS table here at the end of the season. So if you aren't familiar with how the MLS works, and to be honest with you, I wasn't overly familiar with this before I started this career mode, we now go into the playoff rounds, and the top 7 teams will go into round 1, and 8 and 9th will go into the wildcard round. So the top 7 teams from the Eastern Conference are, of course, ourselves at Real Miami, Columbus Crew, New England Revolution, Orlando City, FC Cincinnati, Inter Miami have managed to climb up the table here as well, and New York City FC. So we will be all in round 1 of the playoffs. Philadelphia Union and Nashville will both go into the wildcard round. And then if we go over to the Western Conference here, we have LAFC, Seattle Sounders, Portland Timbers, FC Dallas, LA Galaxy, Minnesota United, and Sporting Kansas City all going into round 1 as well. The Vancouver Whitecaps and Real Salt Lake will be in the wildcard round. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how this goes. As I said before, lads, this isn't only my first MLS career mode on the channel, it's the first one I have ever done in any career mode, or any FIFA I should say, that I've ever played. So I'm really excited to see how these playoffs go. And we have drawn Philadelphia Union here in round 1 of the MLS playoffs. So I'm about to explain it here for people who mightn't be aware, but I'm also explaining it to myself as well, because again, this is the first time I've experienced this in career mode. So basically, best of 3 series. Whoever wins 2 out of 3 games goes on through, but of course if we were to beat Philadelphia in the first 2 games, there wouldn't be a third game. But also, if this first game here ended in a draw, it would go to a penalty shootout. I don't know about extra time, because I'm just looking at last year's MLS table. For example, Philadelphia Union in real life took on Chicago Fire in the MLS Best of 3 series in the playoffs. The first game ended 2-2, which Philadelphia Union won on penalties, and then they won the second game 3-0, which meant there was no third game to play, because Philadelphia won the first 2 games. But let me try and find another example here. Okay. Inter Miami against Nashville last year. They won the first game 3-1. Nashville won the second game 2-1, so they had to have a third game to determine the winner, which Inter Miami won by 4-0. So unlike the Champions League, there's no aggregate score. They don't combine the scores in the games. It is literally just who wins and who loses that matters. So yeah, confused? So am I. But no, not really. It actually does make sense. It's a bit overwhelming when you first see it, but yeah, the more I've looked at it, the more I've looked at real life examples, the more it's starting to make sense. But look, enough of the pleasantries. There's been a lot of talking in this episode. Let's get into the first properly featured game of this episode, in the first game of the Best of 3 series against Philadelphia Union. Oh lads, sometimes I really hate myself. I really, really hate myself sometimes. I never clicked record. I never clicked record for this game here against Philadelphia Union. As you can see there, it didn't go very well. We did lose by 1-0. It was Bueno with the only goal of the game with 25 minutes to go. And that does mean if we do want to advance on through here, we will have to win 2 games against Philadelphia Union. What a poxy goal as well. Lobs it over the keeper. It was the only goal of the game. We really didn't have many big chances. But I'm more mad that I forgot to bloody record the game than I am that I bloody lost it. But I promise the next 2 games will be featured in this episode. Mark my word. I have remembered to hit record this time, lads. Thank God for that. Here we are now in the city of brotherly love, one of my favourite cities in the world. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. I was in Philadelphia a few years ago for WrestleMania 40. Absolutely loved every single second of it, and would love to go back there in the future. And hopefully this is another successful trip here to Philadelphia. We're 1 game down here in this Best of 3 series, and in my head, we're 1-0 down going into this game. But aggregate score doesn't matter in this Best of 3 series. It's just whoever wins 2 games. So if we won this game 10-0, for example, and Philly won the next game 1-0, they would go through. Now, from what I know, in FC26 and previous career modes, the aggregate score will be shown in this game, but that's just FC26's presentation. It doesn't actually mean that there is an aggregate score in this game. I know it's confusing. Listen, I'm probably more confused than anybody here, but look, regardless of that, let's just get a victory here against Philadelphia and hopefully finish off the job then back at the Brahma Bowl. Oh, good ball by Ronaldo. Is Wood onside? Yes, he is. Oh, brilliant there by Wood, who's probably been the best player in this episode so far. If we're going to count sim games as well, he has been absolutely on fire. And 6 minutes in here, he gets his 14th goal of the season, and we take the lead here against Philadelphia Union. Excellent ball by Cristiano Ronaldo. For some reason, it won't show it here in the replay, but Wood with a magnificent finish. I have said it before about maybe cashing in on him at some stage in this series if we do a season 2, but I'm really happy that we have him here for these games because he has arguably been player of the season away from Cristiano Ronaldo. Although Dexter Morgan might have a thing or two to say about that as well. Good tackle there by Miller. It's really annoying seeing that aggregate score there. So it says 1-1, but there is no aggregate. It doesn't matter what the score is, it matters who wins 2 games out of 3. But I suppose in one way we are actually looking to make it 1-1 in terms of games won here in this tie. Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo with the good strike. Blake with the good save. He's starting to build up that confidence again, Cristiano, after going, 7 or 8 games without a goal? He really, really is. Let's see if we can find him here from this corner, which Wood will whip in. Ronaldo is there, wins the header, but puts it over the bar. Oh, brilliant ball. Zendiaz, Dexter Morgan, 2-0. Lovely stuff. 25 minutes in here. And we double our advantage, and you have to say it is nothing more than what we deserve. We have been all over Philadelphia Union here. Brilliant ball by Cristiano Ronaldo. Zendejas finds Dexter Morgan. Blake, I tell you what, wasn't too far away from it. But Morgan really was never going to miss from there. And we are 2 goals to the good here. 15th goal of the season there for Morgan. Here's Ronaldo, though, the top scorer, going on a good run. You can tell, even in the game, it's really frustrating Ronaldo that he's not scoring as much as he normally does. Now, don't get me wrong, he still has over 30 goals this season, so we can't complain too much. And he is a big game player as well, Cristiano Ronaldo, so I have no doubt he will pop up with the goal here at some stage, considering retirement, apparently. Oh, not yet, Cristiano. Come on, give us one more season. Well, we're only doing one more season if we win, or if we don't win the MLS Cup, I should say. And then, of course, we will be getting into our Road to Glory series with Cork City, which I'm very excited for, lads. I really am. But I have really enjoyed this MLS series. Something very different to anything we've done before. And it's been a lot of fun. Can we get this 3rd goal here? No, we can't. Do not blow the whistle, ref. Do not blow the whistle. Give us time to get this 3rd goal. Great run here by Ronaldo. He's done really well. Gives it off to Ruiz. Oh, who is looking for Morgan. Good interception. But that will be it for this first half. 2-0 up here. A really, really good performance as well. We probably should be winning by more, to be fair. But honestly, I would be very happy if it ended with this scoreline right here, right now. Here is Cristiano Ronaldo, who you might have just briefly seen there, is 1 goal away from levelling the MLS record of 34 goals in a season. So he will be desperate to get that. Here's Ruiz now. Morgan, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo! He has said it so many times. He doesn't chase records, the records chase him. 34 goals and 35 appearances. He's level with Carlos Vela, or Vea, however you say his bloody name, who originally scored 34 goals in an MLS season back in 2019. And I tell you what, I guarantee you now, Cristiano Ronaldo in this game is going to break that record. Ronaldo breaks the record. You can't keep a great footballer down. Sue! I have to do it every time. 35 goals and 35 appearances, and it is now official that nobody has scored more goals in a single MLS season than Cristiano Ronaldo. Another amazing record to add to a ridiculous collection of records. A brilliant finish there as well to gain it, and we are cruising here against Philadelphia Union. And it does finish 4-0 here in the city of brotherly love. Cristiano Ronaldo adding yet another record to his collection. And despite the fact that this is a very comprehensive win, it doesn't mean anything if we lose the next game. We can literally lose the next game by a single goal and we will be out of this competition. Okay, lads, I'm very confused right now because we've advanced a few days ahead and there's no fixture here. So, from what I'm gathering, in the game, the playoffs work a bit differently. They actually do have an aggregate score instead of the best of 3, which is a bit disappointing because I like the uniqueness of a best of 3 series. So I think we've advanced on through to the next round. I mean, surely we have with the scoreline 4-1 on aggregate, but there's been no games popping up here at the moment, which is really, really annoying. But something I did want to quickly bring to your attention is that we have gotten a very big offer here for Christian Wood. $27.5 million from Villarreal. The chief executive is saying we could get upwards of 32.5 million. I'm going to see if I can get 40 million. I'm going to entertain the offer. Why not? He's done really well here. It makes sense that some European teams would be interested, but I want to get as much money as I possibly can. So let's go and ask for 40, a flat 40 million, and see what Villarreal have to say. Is he going to be going to the Yellow Submarine? Easy for me to say. Okay, they come back with 30.5 million and a 5% sell-on clause. Okay, I will increase this to 35 million, and we'll keep that sell-on clause there because you never know when that might come in handy. And they are willing to accept that. So it looks like Christian Wood will be leaving us going into Season 2. If there is a Season 2, I have to see what happens here with the MLS Cup. But at least we'll be getting a huge injection of money if this transfer does indeed go through. And the deal has gone through, lads. Christian Wood will be leaving the club in the January transfer window. He has gone to Villarreal for $35 million. You know what? As well as he's played, I actually don't mind letting him go because it was just going to take him forever to convert over to a left winger. It didn't affect him that much. He still played well there, but I'm not overly disappointed that he'll be leaving. So if we do end up doing a season 2, it looks like we will have quite a decent budget to play around with. And at last, a game has finally popped up here in the calendar. FC Cincinnati will be the opponent in the conference semi-finals of the MLS. So it looks like the best of 3 series hasn't been implemented into the game, which is really disappointing. I was really excited to experience something completely different from all the other leagues we've done career modes in. But yeah, it wouldn't be like EA to take something fun out of the game, would it? It really wouldn't be like them at all. Oh, but whatever. I'm just glad that it didn't come back to haunt us. Because I was fully convinced the scoreline wouldn't matter, and I thought the aggregate was just like an EA thing that they just hadn't updated. But no, they have just kind of implemented the Champions League style rules into the MLS for this career mode. But yeah, whatever. Listen, at least we got through. We're here now in the conference semi-finals, which is really a quarter-final when you think about it. So for those of you that don't know, if we go through here against FC Cincinnati, we will go through to the conference final. But then the conference final is really the semi-finals for the teams who go through to the MLS Cup. So it's the final of the conference itself, but it's the semi-final of the overall MLS. This has been a very confusing episode, I'm very aware of that. At least for me it's been confusing, but then again, I am easily confused. But here we are now in the semi-finals of the Eastern Conference. FC Cincinnati are the opponent. Of course, Celentano, our goalkeeper, who's up to a 77 rating now, was one of our first signings that we made from FC Cincinnati in this career mode. So this is a one-legged tie. There's no second leg here. There's an LA derby happening there in one of the other semi-finals. Pretty interesting. I didn't really get a chance to look at the other ones there that popped up. I mean, I know it was in the menu beforehand, but again, I wasn't really paying attention. But hopefully we can get the job done here on what looks like a lovely night here in Miami as The Rock looks on. He's had a very successful venture into Major League Soccer here so far in this career mode. And hopefully that success will continue with the victory here in the conference semi-final. Ruiz now over to Figueroa. Looking for Cristiano Ronaldo. That's a good interception. It's been very hard to get past FC Cincinnati in this game. Here's Denki now, who I think is like 77 rated. So one of the better players in the MLS. Pretty sure he did score against us as well at some point this season. And somehow he has squeezed that through. Oh my goodness me. FC Cincinnati take the lead here. It's Denki's 11th goal of the season, but how the hell has he squeezed that past Celentano? Gets the better of Bellerin there. Oh, keeper has to be doing better. 77 rated, and he couldn't keep that one out. I mean, it's a decent strike, but I really feel like the goalkeeper should have saved that. Oh, can we get a quick response here? We literally haven't had a single shot in this game so far. Ruiz now with a decent ball in, looking for Zendejas. Keeper did kind of well there. I thought he might have made a bit of a meal of it at first, but he managed to get rid of it. Here's Figueroa now, over to Ruiz. Morgan, can't find him. Robinson deals with it, and here come FC Cincinnati again. Very quickly approaching half-time. Morgan finds Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo with the strike, Reyes with the save. It's been a very weird episode for Ronaldo. He went, 7 or 8 games without a goal. I keep forgetting the exact amount. Then he somehow ended up breaking the record for most goals in an MLS season. So it's been a bit of a mixed bag for Cristiano Ronaldo so far. Can't win the header from the corner. And it looks like we're going to be 1-0 down going into this halftime break. Indeed we are. I thought the ref was going to let us play on there for a second, but he does blow the whistle, and we are 45 minutes away from this first season coming to a close. Oh, and here they come right at the start of the second half. FC Cincinnati. A really good save there by Celentano. That could have been the killer blow. And speaking of killers, here's Dexter Morgan. Plays in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo has to chip it in, or whip it in, I should say, for Dexter Morgan. Bloody hell, I can't speak in this episode. And they end up clearing it away. Time is going down way too quickly at the moment. We desperately need to get this equaliser as Figueroa gives the ball away. There's Wood now. Could be his last game for the club if we're unable to get back into this. Oh my god, and that's a terrible pass. Bloody hell. He's already checked out. He's already thinking about playing in La Liga. And here come FC Cincy now again. Miller with the interception. It goes right back to them. Does well to win that header. Come on, Celentano. We need to get a move on here. Oh my god, they are so good at winning the ball back here. Zendejas looking for Morgan. Oh lads, it's starting to slip away from us. It really, really is. Oh, Denki. Oh, Celentano with a brilliant save. I'd almost half accepted that was going in the back of the net. But honestly, FC Cincy look like the team more likely to get a second goal here. They really, really do. I mean, we haven't even scored a first goal, so obviously they're going to be the more likely team to get a second goal. But in terms of the second goal of the game, then they look like the more likely to get it at the moment. Why am I over-explaining things so much in this episode? I really don't know. But here's Dexter Morgan now. Wood has been taken off. He potentially has kicked his final ball in a Real Miami shirt. Oh, Ronaldo was looking to play in Zendejas there. Once again, they cut out the pass. But we still have it here. Bailey fresh off the bench. Ruiz now. Morgan, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, go for the power shot. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm a bloody idiot. I should have just ran through on goal there. Oh, I've shot myself in the foot, lads. I really have. 8 minutes to go. Oh, we get a corner. Let's put Morgan on it. I feel like we need a right footer taking this one. Can he find the head of Ronaldo or even Miller? It's in towards Miller. Ah, and they clear it away again. Decent ball in. Good header away. 2 minutes left. And as we've seen so many times in this career mode, they don't add on much time in the MLS, it seems. This might be our final opportunity. Arzo, Ronaldo. How has he missed? How the hell has he missed that? That's it, lads. We're done. There was only one added minute. That was the chance. And he's bloody missed it, Cristiano. Oh, you'd have bet your house on him to score that. And that is going to be that. The ref's going to blow the whistle as soon as this is taken. And that will be it for Season 1 of this career mode. You know what? I'm gutted in one way, but in another way, I'm kind of happy. Because, of course, we did sign Luka Modric on a pre-contract, and if we'd won the MLS Cup, we wouldn't have had the chance to use him in this series. So, there's pros and cons to take from this defeat. But FC Cincinnati are the team that stop us from winning the MLS Cup at our very first attempt. And they didn't even get to the bloody final in the end, FC Cincinnati. It was Columbus Crew and LAFC in the MLS Cup final. And what a game it was. A 4-all draw that went to penalties. And Columbus Crew were the ones to get their hands on the trophy. So congratulations to them. They were the team that actually finished second, weren't they, in the table? Yes, they were. That's the crazy thing about the MLS. You can finish top of the table, you can get that supporter shield, but really this is the main thing you're playing for, this MLS Cup. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to win it here in Season 1, but Season 2 we're going to be back with the vengeance, and I'm telling you, at the very least, we are going to be in this MLS Cup final. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, it was Cristiano Ronaldo who finished as our top scorer here in Season 1. 35 goals in 36 appearances. And let's be honest, it should have been more. He went on a really bad dry spell in this episode, and I think if he'd not gone on that dry spell, he would have gotten at the very least close to 50 goals this season. But still, 35 and 36 is absolutely incredible, especially at 40 years old. The annoying thing now about Ronaldo is that he'll be 41 around the time of the start of the second season here, and his overall will start to nosedive. For some reason in career mode, when a player is 40 years old, they stay at whatever overall they're at when they turn 40. But then when they turn 41, if they haven't retired, the overall starts to decline. So Ronaldo will still be the main man up front next season, but I will have to bring in a very, very good backup choice because, as I say, that overall is unfortunately going to go down. But still, very happy to have him here at Real Miami. Dexter Morgan then with 15 goals and 14 assists. You love to see that. A killer season here from the Bay Harbour Butcher. And I'm telling you now, in the second season, he is going to be even better. 80 rated at 24 years old. Very excited to see what his overall is at the end of next season. Christian Wood then with 14 goals and 8 assists. A very good season for him, to be fair. Look, he was very good, but sometimes you just have those players in career mode that are doing decent for you, but you kind of don't mind moving them on, and Christian Wood was one of those players for me. Best of luck to him at Villarreal. He's been a very good player for us, but I'm quite excited to bring in a replacement for him on that left-hand side. There's one player I have in mind who I used to love using in career mode back in the day, and I'm very excited about potentially bringing him in the second season here at Real Miami. Couple of other players then chipped in. Zendayas with 4 goals and 8 assists. Not too bad, but not amazing. Bailey with 2 goals and 3 assists. He was a decent backup. Arzo, he was okay. 2 goals and 1 assist in 17 appearances is not that great though. I know he mostly came off the bench, but I might potentially cash in on him in season 2. A few other players chipping in then with a couple of goals and assists. And in terms of overall, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo is the highest rated player. Miller up to an 81. Morgan, of course, as we mentioned earlier, up to an 80. A couple of players here in the high 70s. Figueroa, I'm going to cash in on as well. He was okay at times, but I didn't really vibe with him towards the end. I really didn't. He's worth about 14 million, I think it is. So we could get a decent chunk of change for him. He's got a release clause there as well for 18.9. Wouldn't be too disappointed if anybody paid that. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to replace him in season 2 because, I don't know, I just didn't really feel like he added a lot to the team. He really didn't. He was okay defensively, didn't really do much going forward, didn't get a single goal all season, 1 assist. And I know midfielders, obviously, it's not all about goals and assists, but I don't know. I didn't think his output was great, to make a long story short. And the other player that I have transfer listed as well, where is he? Yeah, is Matt Riley. Again, he was okay, but he's very, very slow. We've brought in a good replacement here for Fernandez, and I could keep him as a backup, but I kind of fancy cashing in on him instead. There's a couple of players as well that'll be leaving on free transfers. Larry Lewis will be going to Minnesota United. Jorgensen is still here for now, but I think his contract is running out. Yes, it is. Ortiz as well. His contract's running out too. 57 rated, 17 years old. If this was a long-term career mode, I might have loaned him out. But yeah, since we're only doing one more season, I think I'm better off on letting him go. Stromberg did have his release clause paid. He's going to Ghent, I think it was. No, it's Genk he's going to in season 2. So we will have to bring in another cam as well. And I'm pretty sure that was it for player departures. Yep, that's basically it. So yeah, that is it for the stats here in season 1. We may not have won the MLS Cup, but we did win the Supporters' Shield, technically, because we did finish top of the table overall with the most amount of points between the Eastern and Western conferences. And Cristiano Ronaldo gets yet another individual award, as he has been announced as the player of the tournament. Matt Riley was sold to Lille for $4 million and Santiago Figueroa has been sold to RB Leipzig for $18.9 million. So I am very, very excited to see how much money we have going into Season 2. Well, let's just say we have quite a decent amount of money in the budget here at the moment. We initially started with $54.2 million, but after a few transfers have gone through, $105 million is now in our transfer budget. So yeah, I am very, very excited to spend that. But don't worry, I won't take the piss. I'm not just going to bring in loads of world-class players. We'll focus on having the best squad possible in the MLS and bringing in quite a few different experienced players to try and get us over the line here in Season 2. And speaking of experienced players, let's now officially welcome to the club Luka Modric. Of course, we did sign him on a pre-contract from AC Milan last season, and the 40-year-old Croatian is now in the team. And the great thing about him being 40 years old, as I said earlier, is that he is going to stay at an 83 rating this season. So I'm very, very excited to have the former Ballon d'Or winner here in our team. And of course, lads, as always, please do let me know what players you think I should be bringing into this team. There's definitely a few areas of the pitch I feel like we need a bit more cover in. Of course, Dexter Morgan is a fantastic attacking midfielder, but we don't really have a proper backup for him. So I would love to hear some suggestions for another cam that we should be bringing into this team. Of course, we need another player to start on the left-hand side as well after the departure of Christian Wood. I'm very happy with the midfield, but I wouldn't mind another backup. Vicinho is starting to decline quite rapidly. Smith is okay, but looking at the two players we have in the starting 11, I wouldn't mind getting a better backup on the bench for Modric and Ruiz. Of course, Riley has left the club now as well, so I could do with another centre-back as a backup to Fernandes and for Miller. So as I said, lads, please do get suggesting in the comments who we should be bringing in. But that will do it for the final episode of Season 1 here in the Real Miami Create a Club Career Mode. I've had so much fun here in Season 1. As I said before, this series is so much different to anything I've done previously, and I'm enjoying every second of it, and I hope you are too. If you did enjoy this episode, please do hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel as well, lads. We are on the road to 800 subscribers. I would love to hit that before the end of this series, and I will talk to you all in the very first episode of Season 2 very, very soon. Take care.